Hello everyone, I hope I meet you well. Today I'm going to share the story of myself and how religion and culture have impacted me one way or another. And most importantly, I want to tell you that the purpose of my coming out today is not to shame anyone. It's not to speak negative of anybody. This is my story that has shaped me. And I like to let you know that I come out to share this because some of these practices have actually caused me a lot of anger. It has caused me a lot of emotional stress. It has made me ponder on who God really is. It has made me to really question things. It has really made me to find my truth. To give you a short background, I was raised in a Christian household where we embrace all the traditions and culture of the church. What are these traditions? We dress in certain way. See how I'm dressed? It has to cover your neck, your hands, and it must touch your ankle. Anything 3/4 to your knee, if you are part of the choir, you will not be allowed to sing. If you are a worker, you are not allowed to be part of them. What are these doctrines? You are not allowed to wear wigs. You are not allowed to put on earrings. You are not allowed to rub powder on your face. You are not allowed to rub Vaseline on your lips. You are not allowed to, maybe you leave yourself because you have to just be smelly. What are these doctrines? You are not allowed to visit the hospital. When you are sick, you have to be anointed by the ministers of God. So either you have faith or not, it's not their business. You must have faith to be a member. And also, no medical care. You dare not go to the hospital. Either you are having a child, you are delivering a baby, don't go to church. You are sick, any type of sickness, you are not permitted to go to the hospital. You must abide by the rules of the church. Remember, this is my story. I was born into that religion. I was born into that social community. I wasn't brought in. I was born there. So I was raised there. As young as I was, at age 4, I started singing in the children elementary class, which is where I grew up and became part of the adult choir at age 17. I started singing, I started playing violin. One thing I cherish the most is the songs that were imbibed into me. I love songs. But as a child, you don't have a mind of your own. You got to do what your parents tell you to do. Even the community, you have to listen. So I was practicing. The religion. I was following my parents, doing what they tell me to do, until I have an encounter with my Creator. My instinct. Some people call it instinct. gut feeling. Some of us who are super religious call it Holy Spirit. It's still the same thing. I figured that out as I continue to grow. In my language Yoruba, they say, Bí roba lo lógún ọdún, ọjọ́ kan lòtítọ́ á bà. I found the truth when I began to question, when I started to ask questions, when I began to think deeper, when I begin to ask questions. Why don't we go to hospital? There was an incident. One day, because my mom does not really totally agree with some of these things, but because my dad, this is what dad wants to do, and mommy must to agree. So mom agreed. But mom still do certain things like metolithon, having metolithon, and multivitamins. And I remembered one day, a member came visiting. I didn't even realize that we had a metolithon on the dining table. And as they knocked on the door, I think mom sensed that the metolithon is on the table and told one of us to pick it up and take it inside the room. You know, at the time I was shy. I couldn't really raise any opinion, raise any question. But all this were in my mind that why did we have to take metolithon away? Because a church member is coming. I was questioning it in my mind, but I couldn't voice it out. And growing up, I saw a lot. I hear a lot. There was an incident where a fellow brother in the church came to live with us. And we asked our dad, why is brother so in our house? And he said he had a fire accident. That's how he got all those burns. And he's here. He was with us for a little bit. And I was, as a child, thinking in my head, why isn't he going to the hospital? Why does he have to stay in our house? And I have incidences of some time when we were here, and you will see these people pregnant. And suddenly you ask about them, they said, oh, they lose the baby, haven't labored for a couple days, they lost the baby. You know, hearing that repeatedly often, and this, the shocker was when I now was asking questions, and then nobody was answering my questions. They told me, even my godmother at the time told me, you don't question because you'll be considered a rebel. Then I was confused, like, so everybody must just be quiet even when you have your opinion or you think otherwise, you must do. And I begin to look, there are learned people here. Why will everybody just conform? But then I couldn't leave because koyemi, where else to go? You know, having been taught in certain way about other religion, which made me question if we have God of apostolic faith, another God for deeper life, another God for CAC, another God for whatever denomination there is in the world. I begin to question, why is there so many division? Why do we have so many and yet there is no love among all these believers, all these denominations? I question, but still, I got no answer. I continue with my search. I beginning to question. Then I started reading my Bible myself. I picked up my Bible by myself, and I was reading, studying it on my own. I realized that the church picked the parts that suits them to control our minds. They picked the parts that completely suit them to take over our minds. And I said, no, I know my truth. As I know my truth, I'm going to step out from everything that does not serve me well. Why will church tell me that I cannot practice certain profession because they thought it's not going to be okay for me? Are they my creator? Do they know the story the author has written and how it will play out? I choose not to allow anybody disrupt that. So I continue questioning and I continue seeking. I'll tell you further what I see when I now went to college, which is another step to my growing up. Today, I have introduced myself to you. I have shared with you a little bit about my background and how religion shaped me from a naive child to identifying my purpose in life. Thank you for watching this video, and as we continue to interact with my story, I hope I'm blessing someone out there. Thank you. Have a blessed day.